International Airlines flight has crashed near Karachi's Model Colony area. The aircraft was en route Lahore to Karachi. As per details, the plane was carrying about 90 passengers plus also the crew members. These are the visuals on your screen. Huge fumes of smoke being witnessed there, and we are being told that this was an international airlines flight of PIA and that crashed near Karachi's Model Colony. Further details are awaited, but as it was a passenger aircraft, the plane was likely carrying 90 passengers or more. Just looking at these visuals is very clear that one, this seems to be a residential area where the flight has crashed, and secondly, just take a look at those fumes of smoke emerging from the Pakistan International Airlines flight that has crashed. Abhishek Bhalla is joining me on the phone line. Abhishek, these are tragic visuals coming in. What exactly are the details that we have picked up so far?
Well, extremely disturbing visuals that are coming in from Pakistan. This was Pakistan International Airlines. There were 98 people on board in this flight, and you know, the fact that the crash has happened near a residential area, it clearly suggests that the damage could be extremely huge, because the number of people living in that area could be high, and you know, the tragedy could be really big. By the initial reports that are coming in. Very sketchy details still, but what we know is that there were more than 90 people on board. The flight was flying from Lahore to Karachi. It took off from Lahore earlier today, and it has crashed somewhere around Karachi in a residential area. That's the initial information that has come until now.
Also, Abhishek, as I look at these visuals, because this is a residential area, so apart from the passengers in the aircraft, there could be casualties feared in the area itself, because I can see that the buildings have been hit. There are lanes and gullies that have been hit as well. Therefore, the aircraft clearly has crashed into a residential locality.
Yes, and that's the big fear as far as the damage and the casualties are concerned. It could be much more than the number of people who were flying in the aircraft. But, you know, one can only pray for those who have been hit by this tragedy at this point of time. The official word on what kind of damage has been done will obviously come in a little later once the assessment is done. I'm sure there are rescue teams, relief teams that have been rushed to the spot, and they're trying to decipher what kind of damage has been done and perhaps also rescue people who could be stuck in the rubble or you know, their homes could have been damaged. So it's an extremely difficult situation for the authorities there in Pakistan, and also for the people who were living in that area.
We're staying with these visuals of the breaking news that's coming in. There's been a plane crash, and this was of the aircraft en route from Lahore to Karachi. It was the crash has taken place in a residential locality as well. Abhishek, as we stay with these visuals, very disturbing. What timing was exactly, if you can tell us, if there's a confirmation that has come in as to when did this crash take place? Any statement that has come from the government of Pakistan?
Well, Pooja, we haven't come across any official statement from the government of Pakistan as of now. But what I can tell you is that, you know, this has happened just minutes before. The social media handles in Pakistan have been full of this information. There are pictures, there are visuals that have been put on social media platforms in Pakistan, and in a way that was one of the first pieces of information from where this information came. And as I said, that it's still very initial, and
yes,
the details are extremely sketchy. But what we can confirm is that a flight carrying about 98 people on board has crashed earlier today in Karachi. The flight was coming from Lahore, was flying to Karachi, and this crash has taken place in a residential area, which means that the damage, the casualties, the damage to homes, injuries could be much higher than those who were on board.
And just stay on with me, Abhishek. I'm going to stay with these visuals as well, extremely disturbing visuals. An update has come. The aircraft likely is being called A320. 90 passengers aboard the A320 plane. It has crashed, but even worse, it has crashed in a residential area. So there are casualties that are feared. We are expecting a statement very soon. Remember, this is the Pakistan International Airlines aircraft, and therefore about 100 people were there in that aircraft. These are the latest visuals on your screens of rescue and relief operations, and also to ensure to minimize as much casualties as possible. Abhishek continues to stay with me. Abhishek, just for the benefit of our viewers, if you can tell us exactly what happened, about what the details that you have about a few minutes ago when this information came in. Right, we're just waiting to join again with Abhishek Bhalla. Very tragic news coming in. There's been a plane crash in Karachi. The jet crashed in Jinnah Garden area. This was a residential locality, a model colony. And just before it was supposed to land, so it was not very far from the runway, from the airport, and it has crashed in a residential locality. Take a look at that. Huge smoke coming out from those houses, and we can see that the houses have also been hit. And we're waiting for further details. We can see that there are police personnel, there are ambulances there at the site as well. So very tragic news coming in, and we're breaking it first here on India Today. And here's of course praying that the casualties will be minimum. We can see some people taking care of children who are being rushed out, likely from those houses. Take a look at these visuals on your screen. People rushing out of that colony that likely will see evacuation right away as well. But a Pakistan International Airlines aircraft A320 crashed in the colony and had about 90 passengers plus 8 members of the cabin crew there in the aircraft. All right, we're going to stay with this big breaking news coming in. We're expecting some more information and statement also coming in, and prayers for the people there, not only in that colony, but of course the passengers of the aircraft, their families as well. We want to bring in as much updated and verified information. Remember, according to Abhishek Bhalla, who was updating with the information saying that these are sketchy details coming in. So we would want to put out on India Today only verified information, only official information that has come in. We're not going to make any speculation of the kind. What we do have as a confirmation is that the plane has crashed near Karachi airport and had about 90 passengers plus 8 cabin crew members, and it has hit in the residential area. We can already see a crowd of people gathering there in the colony. Abhishek Bhalla is back with me. Abhishek, for the benefit of our viewers, we want to just go ahead with verified information that's coming in, that the crash that has taken place, and information that's again come in that this was just about a few kilometers away from the airport. The plane was all set to land, and that is when it crashed in this residential colony, which is very close to the airport. We can see people are rushing into that area. I'm now joined by one of the journalists in Pakistan, Mohammad Zulkar. Zulkar, thank you so much for tuning and talking to us. What are the details that you can give us right now about this tragic crash that has happened?
That was when Airbus, some 91 passengers and 7 crew members were on board, according to the Pakistan International Airlines. It was the plane of PIA, and it left Lahore at 10 past 1, and was reached Karachi at 3. But just before landing, it crashed. And PIA sources and Civil Aviation Authority Pakistan sources saying that because the landing gear couldn't be opened, that might be the possible reason of the crash. And it's on the residence locality, and several houses also caught fire in that.
Any confirmation, Zulkar, yet about the likely casualties? We can see people are rushing out of the residential area, which means the houses have been directly hit as well in that colony in Karachi.
Yes, houses directly hit, as well as the vehicle reports coming up that they caught fire, and even the armed forces plus civil aviation rescue department and the Sindh government rescue department are rushing towards it, and they are engaged in it. At the moment, there is only one official statement from the PIA that 98 passenger plus crew on board in the plane, which had the capacity of 180, close to 180 passengers, but due to social distancing, only 91 passengers allowed to board the plane.
Zulkar, I just have an added question here. Can you again tell us, confirm to us when possibly was the timing when this crash has taken place, and what presently is being done in that locality, in that area, from the details that you're picking up, so that at least the casualties are minimal?
At the moment, from the official mouth, you say the information coming up that the rescue officials are at the spot, and the fire tenders are at the spot. They're extinguishing the fire, but no detail about how many houses or how many people got affected by this fire, by this planes falling on it. It's not clear about it so far. So only one thing, that is their rescue officers are busy in rescue activities, and fire tenders are busy in extinguishing fire.
Would it be correct to say? Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Other thing which earlier was reports coming up about the number of passengers on board, that has been now confirmed that 91 passengers on board and 7 members of the crew. And one senior journalist is also, there is a tweet from that is News 24 media group, that their director news, Insar Naqvi, lost his life. He was on board in that plane.
Right, that's extremely tragic news coming in. One loss of life of a media person is being confirmed here on India Today, that he was on board the aircraft as well. Zulkar, right now, because these are tragic visuals, only sketchy details are coming in right now. What precisely can we expect an official a statement to come in from the government on what perhaps could be the confirmed loss of life in this case?
Probably in next half an hour or so, as told by the PIA, that they are assessing, PIA and civil aviation are assessing the whole thing, and
Zulkar, if you can stay on with me, we have some reactions coming in directly from Pakistan. Let's take a look at that.
कैरियर निकाली हुई है, गाड़ियां खड़ी की हुई है, इसकी वजह से ये गलियां तंग हो गई हैं, इस वजह से मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ा है।
जी बिल्कुल, हमारे साथ हमारे साथी रिपोर्टर भी मौजूद थे। मैं अपने कैमरामैन दिशान इकबाल से कहूंगा कि इस वक्त आपको दिखाएं कि मजीद फायर ब्रिगेड की जो गाड़ियां हैं वो यहां पहुंच चुकी हैं, और लोगों को यहां पे बाकायदा ऐलानात किए जा रहे हैं कि लोग पीछे हट जाएं, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में काफी ज्यादा मुश्किलात का सामना है। ये तो इस इलाके का मेन स्पॉट है जहां ये जहाज सबसे कुछ देर कबल गिरा है और रास्ता पेश आया है। मैं अपने कैमरामैन दिशान इकबाल से कहूंगा।
Right, so these are ground reports coming in from Pakistan, from Karachi specifically, where the plane has crashed. Remember, this is the A320 that has crashed in a residential locality very close to the airport, and the aircraft was just about setting for landing at the airport, and that is when it has crashed into the locality. And the confirmation that has come in from our sources there in Pakistan: 91 passengers plus 7 cabin crew members in that aircraft. But sadly, one loss of life has been confirmed by a media house in Pakistan about a senior media person there in that company who was on board.